Hello, and welcome to a special mini edition of the Sustainable Commodities Podcast, recorded live at the Regenerative Agriculture Summit Europe in September 2025. I'm Barnaby Patchett, MD of 199, a marketing and comms agency working in sustainable commodities. The following interview is part of a series of short conversations recorded with experts from across the supply chain during the event. Look out for the others and check for the special report episode on the conference, which is available now. Hi, so I'm here with Jen Godderidge from ATMO. Jen, welcome to the Sustainable Commodities Podcast.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Cheers. So tell me a bit more about yourself and a bit more about your company to start.
About myself. Well, I'm a founder of an agri-fintech startup called ATMO. Mm-hmm. We help banks enable transition finance and decarbonize their portfolio.
Okay.
So now you may think, why banks? What do they have to do with the food system? So banks are financing, obviously, farmers and corporates. So these are their finance emissions, and we are one of the tools that help them enable portfolio transformations.
Now, I've spoken to quite a few farmers today, and finance has come up in every single conversation, and accessing that finance has been, certainly perceived as one of their biggest challenges at the right rates and at the right risk levels. Mm-hmm. How does your platform kind of help with that?
Yeah, so we replicate the incentive stack, whereas we calculate buyer premiums, but also enable access to better debt financing.
Okay.
So where I believe the challenge today is that we mostly operate on a voluntary carbon market, whereas we treat insetting the same as offsetting. And the farmer, I guess, is used to getting compensated on the carbon price. Mm-hmm. But what you see more and more is that large food companies partner with banks on pilots for farmers, where banks provide better terms and food companies obviously pay more for the offtake. And I believe this is the model in the future that more and more companies will also support.
So connecting all those three different elements of it is one of the challenges that you're solving. And how do you do that? I saw on your website that there was sort of some tech in there, some AI.
Yeah.
So how does it work?
Yeah. So we have a portfolio manager on the bank side, and then we have a free platform for farmers where they can upload their farm data and we translate it into reduction projects. Mm-hmm. We calculate exactly how much more revenue they can make from the different projects, what are the financing terms, and then also we're currently further developing our capabilities so we can also cover subsidies.
Okay, so one of the challenges at the moment is that fragmentation of data, and you're bringing...
It's very fragmented. In the UK alone, we have 70 different carbon calculators.
Yeah.
In Germany, it's by state, and so it makes it pretty challenging. And it's not just the fragmentation, but it's also the fact that, you may have heard from those farmers that they shy away from sharing their data. Mm. And data is power, right? And the question is, what's in for them for sharing their data? Mm-hmm. And if there's no incentive, then why should they?
Yeah. And this provides that incentive, or it certainly incentivizes them it adds value to their data where previously it may not have been there.
Yeah, we provide the infrastructure for these companies to really fully show the incentive stack, because, farmers are also entrepreneurs, they're busy. And for them to kind of almost like pull everything together, go to the bank is maybe disconnected to the initiative, right? Connected to the solution providers. So we essentially don't just calculate the incentives, but we also have a vetted number of solution providers that they can then engage with and start an RFP process. And then we feed the bank with information to improve bankability.
So they're getting getting connected to both parts of that, and they're getting potentially better value at both parts of that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one of the key challenges that I've heard need solve it.
For sure.
So, because fragmentation, obviously, not just in finance, we see it on the regulatory side, we see it on on all of the certification schemes as well. Bringing those together, like carbon is the unifier, isn't it? Because it's measurable.
Yeah, a lot of solutions focus on carbon because this is almost like the one unit that everyone is now used to and where we have the common language. Obviously, the question is bigger than carbon.
Yeah.
But I think it's a starting point, and then we can use this to evolve into other important metrics.
That's great. And what do you think needs to happen from? Is there any regulation or legislative thing that needs to happen to kind of support this process?
Yeah, I think subsidies need to further evolve. Obviously, if you look at legislation, I mean, I think there are a couple of examples that have been some heavy hitters. Inheritance tax, for example, in the UK.
Yeah.
So, what can we do to support farmers, right? But not just existing farmers, but also the next generation of farmers. And really then, more than creating additional burden, how can we make it easier and more accessible for them?
That's another challenge I've heard quite a lot of, is that farmers feel they're taking on all of the risk and they're not getting the reward for it to the same degree. So yeah, finding ways for them to be able to think long term, which is what's needed, and that depends on the finance. So obviously your solution will hopefully help that.
Hopefully accelerate, yes.
Yeah. I understand also you're up for a potential award here, in the Innovation Showcase.
Yeah, we're pitching tomorrow alongside 4 other solutions.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, best of luck. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. And
thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the Sustainable Commodities Podcast. Thanks for listening. Please leave us a review, subscribe, and make sure you listen to the other episodes in this Regenerative Agriculture Summit series. Thanks.